You know that feeling when someone says you should read the classics and you picture these enormous 1,000+ pages books and just think that is way too intimidating? Forget that for a second, because these 8 classics are all extremely accessible and extremely short. This first one is an extremely underrated classic, but it's one of my favorites. This is a real memoir composed of real letters exchanged over 20 years between Helene Hanff, who is the author of this book. She is a witty, book-loving New York writer, and the staff of Marks & Co., an antiquarian bookshop at 84 Charing Cross Road in London. She initially writes because this bookshop in London has these rare volumes of books that she is after, and over the years it becomes a very warm, deeply human friendship. The Ice Palace by Taja Vesas is one of my latest reads. This one feels like stepping into a very quiet Norwegian winter. It's about 2 girls in a tiny Norwegian village and this strange, beautiful frozen waterfall that pulls everything into its orbit. It's wintry, it's dreamy, it's eerie in the best possible way. The writing is slightly unusual, but I personally didn't find it hard to get into. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde is one of my all-time favorites. It's about a man who sells his soul to stay young forever. Meanwhile, it's his portrait that shows all the signs of his moral decay. Oscar Wilde makes it witty, he makes it dark. It's very well paced and very easy to get lost in. I would say this is one of the most accessible classics that I've come across. White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky is one of my other favorite classics that I've read this year. It's about a lonely dreamer in St. Petersburg who meets a girl on a bridge over 4 magical summer nights. And it really captures that feeling of falling for someone who might not be yours to keep. And Dostoevsky somehow manages to make loneliness feel very beautiful and poetic. If you've ever romanticized your own sadness at 2 a.m, this book is for you. Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen is her shortest novel. This is kind of like a love letter to, or a slightly gentle roast of people who read too many gothic novels. There is a romance at the center of this, but we're following Catherine, who goes to an abbey expecting to find ghosts and scandals, but she actually finds deep human complexity. I found this to be very funny, very self-aware, and I feel like if you've ever been accused of being too much in your head, Catherine, our heroine, is your girl. I next have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You might already be familiar with this story like I was, but this is barely 70 pages long, so it is very short. You're not committing to much. And it really is a wonderful short story full of pure tension, and it's a really great examination of the darkness of the human condition. I also have to mention A Movable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. This is his memoir about his days in 1920s Paris, when he's broke and hungry and sitting in cafes learning to write. We see him meet with other famous writers of the time, such as F. Scott Fitzgerald and his wife, and this memoir is him looking back with longing and heartbreak at the days when life was hard but also somehow golden at the same time. If you're a fan of The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, then I think you could also like Passing by Nella Larson as well. It's about 2 childhood friends who meet again as adults. Both are black women, but one is passing as white. What unfolds is very tense, very claustrophobic, and it raises questions about identity and desire and betrayal. It's kind of unsettling and you still think about it even days later, and Nella Larson does it all in 150 pages.